What is going on, everybody? We are live after an Eagles 21-18 victory over the Carolina Panthers. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun until about the last 4.5 minutes of the game. I am one of your hosts, Chip Keggy at Chip for the Birds, joined by Jeff Warner at Jeff Warner NFL. Jeff, immediate reactions to the Eagles stealing a victory from Carolina.
Like you said, it wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. They get off the schneid. They break the 3-game losing streak. They beat a team that we kind of figured was going to be tough to beat, but they had a chance to win. So good for them fighting it out. Ultimately, the defense and special teams bailed out 3 quarters. They were not bullshitly.
Yeah, like you said. The defense, considering they've been allowing 40 points per game, I mean, they finally stepped up. But the special teams with the play of the year, if the Eagles manage to turn this around and do anything with this, it'll be due to that special teams play. Their first block in 4 years. And yes, Jennifer Warner, they did actually win. Like we said, it wasn't the offense is. It's going to require some massive overhaul. Jeff, what are your thoughts right away on the play calling that Nick Sirianni decided to go with today?
Once again, go vertical. Don't keep on going horizontal. The opposing defenses are playing up to the line of scrimmage, knowing that all you keep on doing are these little bubble screens or the little wide receiver screens, the running back screens. Yeah, I understand the screen game is a pivotal part of his offensive game plan, but learn how to mix it up. Learn how to disguise that, because teams are sniffing it out way too much, and we're putting ourselves in too much of a distress in 2nd and 3rd and long situations, which this offense is not built around the kick to get themselves out of it. So they. Once again, it wasn't the greatest game plan. It was enough for them to win against an inferior opponent, and it got the job done overall today. But he has to do better, especially on a short week this coming week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He does, and the fact of the matter is that they once again really did not use the run game, and I think it showed even on that last drive when they were trying to kill time, where Miles Sanders seems to have forgotten that running out of bounds when you have the ball in the lead is not the ideal decision there. If you're Nick Sirianni, what are you going to do about this running game? Because when you actually used it, the game plan was just to run the ball directly into the line over and over again, rather than sending your speed guys around the edge and off tackle. What do you do with the run game here? I don't know if we lost Jeff or not. So, yeah, Dougie Ray saying here, right, what a weird feeling, a comeback victory. It was very exciting, the fact that the Eagles managed to pull it off. Again, this is the All About the Birds post-game live. We are going to have all kinds of fun stuff happening where we're going to actually, listen in to Nick Sirianni when he decides to take over. Yeah, Andre, exactly. Defense answered the call. Considering the lack of turnovers that this team had been able to generate, 3 interceptions is a pretty big deal. Robbie Anderson did not go off like we thought they did. But again, I think the run defense, Jeff, and correct me if you disagree here, the running game, both sides of the ball, needs to be corrected pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Miles Sanders, it's a little overpopulated towards the end, but he had 11 carries for 45 yards. On the other side, Chuba Hubbard. Who the hell is Chuba Hubbard? This dude gashed us for 24 Chuba. Whatever. 24 carries, 101 yards on the ground. He had a long of 26. They had overall, and then Sam Darnold was a little mobile, but overall, look, we have to shirk this run defense. Last 2 weeks, we've been able to 50 yards on the ground. This week, 100 yards on the ground against a scrub. Look, definitely an area that Jonathan Gannon really needs to address coming up.
Yeah, and this is a very different game if Christian McCaffrey plays. Let's call it like it is. The fact that we got torched by Chuba Hubbard, that's right, Chuba, which is just he's going to be Chuba his entire NFL career. But again, between them not being able to stop the run and between the Eagles not knowing how to run the ball, look, again, they ran the ball into the center of the line over and over again until it was finally time to kill some clock, and that's when they decided to run the ball around the edge, where they kept giving timeouts to a Panthers team. Their only goal was stopping the clock.
Yep. Yeah, their only goal
again,
was stopping.
Yeah.
No, I'll say, I was just going to agree with you. And, yeah, we definitely have to get this run game on our side offensively fixed because there's no way in hell that with Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, who only had 2 carries today, and Jalen Hurts, that we only have 22 rushes for 91 yards on the ground. Granted, look, they're playing behind a banged-up line, a mid-shaped offensive line with now Mailata's on the right tackle, Dillard on left.
That can't happen again. Mailata got abused on the right side, and we said this during pregame, and we said this on Wednesday. We said this was a problem. You cannot interchangeably and cross-train these linemen. If Mailata is your lineman of the future, then you got to put him back on the left where he goes, and Dillard can be the guy that learns the right.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we can criticize the run game and all,
and we're going to,
and Sirianni. But look, Jalen Hurts didn't have that great of a football game either. Look, 22-37, 198 yards, an average of 5.4 yards an interception, with a QB rating of 62.7. Look, I understand why it was the game plan too. I think in the first half, he averaged 3.7 yards an attempt or something, but he looked lost out there a little bit. He did not look like the leader that we saw from the first 4 weeks when he was under center. He just looked like he did not belong out there. He was making bad decisions and bad throws. Even in the fourth quarter, there was that one big play that Jalen picked on the caught, but that pass was too far out to the left side for Ertz to extend. That he just made an erratic pass. So Jalen Hurts, there's going to be a lot of criticism from him on him from the fan base.
But I will give him a lot of credit. So Jason Kelce did not have a great game. 2 botched snaps, which is very unlike Jason Kelce. But again, he's been Mr. Consistency, so you got to cut him some slack somewhere. But on the 2-point conversion, it was a horrible, horrible snap. And Jalen Hurts brings it in, rolls out to the right, sets his feet, and throws an absolute dart to Devontae Smith in the back of the end zone. The level of composure that Jalen Hurts showed on that play alone gives me hope. Gives me a lot of hope, actually, about the guy.
Yeah, it gives you some hope. And, yeah, he had his moments on the good side of things. Bad side of things, though, it still shows that he still has a lot of work to do. He still has a lot that needs to be done. And I feel this fan base is starting. You, on the other hand, you're gathering hope. I feel a lot of this fan base losing hope in Jalen Hurts. The fact that it took a block punt by our special teams, put us in position to be a not a really good Carolina Panthers team. It doesn't do well with the fan base. That's how you get to win football games. The win's a win. I'm going to take it, but you kind of felt that there was a little more progression from this team.
I think it says a lot about what we kind of predicted about the Carolina Panthers. Is yes, they had 3 wins earlier on in the season, but they're not a great football team. But the Eagles got to win, and as Johnny's chiming in here, look, a win is a win, and the defense did play well. Yeah, Johnny, we already said that. Christian wants to know, look, how can we fill this line? One thing that I noticed, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Jeff. One thing that I noticed is on that last drive of the game, we already had the lead. We had just gotten the ball. The last drive of the game, Dillard was pulled for Mailata to go back to the left. Driscoll went back to right tackle. Herbig played right guard.
Yeah.
So what does that say?
I feel that the coaching staff felt with the play design that they were going to run, that they need Mailata over on the left side, which the opposing defense should have picked up on that. I don't know if they did or not. Granted, the lack of execution, the Eagles weren't able to take advantage, but the fact that you saw the right tackle move to the left, it gave a little bit of a sign that, hey, they're going to be probably running to the left side. That's over protect,
right.
That side, and they couldn't do it.
It's the power run of it all, and the fact that Dillard clearly is not a power run blocker, but there was so much success moving the ball. It makes you wonder why for the first. Yes, he made the field goal.
Yeah, he redeemed himself after missing 4 field goals and in the final 4 minutes to win in overtime.
I did not have him in fantasy. I'll be honest, I did not have him in fantasy, so we're good. Look, moving forward as this Eagles team, we said the play calling has to be more balanced out. I'm not right now. So I always have the post game on the screen. I'm not bringing up TJ Edwards. I'm not really great job in special teams. We're waiting on Nick Sirianni. Another big positive, and this has kind of been for the past couple weeks now. We got out of the game seemingly healthy.
Seemingly.
Did you notice? I mean, maybe I missed it. Did you notice any injuries that I may have missed?
No, I'll say Nick Sirianni, I'm sure will address in his post-game press conference if there was any. But, yeah, look, we need to be at full strength going into this week against a very good Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. So, yeah, one of the positives besides including the victory is definitely along the offensive line. We figure out or find out what's wrong with Lane Johnson and make resurgence. I'm not too hopeful on that, especially being a short week. But, hey, we'll wait and see on that aspect. I'm just glad that, hey, it's a positive Sunday right now.
It is a positive Sunday. A win.
Yeah.
A win is a win, and that's big because it's been a couple of weeks. And going into now this next tough stretch of games, you needed to get a win. You needed to get the fan base a little rejuvenated. But for out of a 60-minute game, for 54 minutes of that, this was not a positive fan base.
No.
I can't tell you how many people I read online, and I even started saying it myself. This should be a one-and-done coaching run between Sirianni and Gannon, and for me, it's the play calling. They have got to make adjustments. Calling on 3rd and 19 a 1-yard pass play, that's not it. That's not going to do the trick.
No. That and going into this game, we brought up in the pregame show and all week long is where's the discipline? And this week it was a little bit better. They look only 6 penalties for 60 yards, but
so you guys took the under. You were right.
A lot of those penalties came in crucial situations in this game that set them up pretty badly or that extended another Carolina drive. So they still need to limit those penalties because the Carolina Panthers, where is it? It doesn't say here. Normally it says how many first downs they got on penalties. I don't know how many there were, but
it was a good amount. The bigger concern was the fact that another touchdown was wiped off the board because of a penalty. Because of the same penalty.
Sirianni needs to take that stupid screen or that little bubble screen in the red zone out because that's now the second or third straight week where the bubble screen where there's an illegal pick. They're obviously the officials are looking for that. They're eyeing in on that, especially with the limited amount of space that the officials have to cover. They're focusing in on that situation. So either he needs to start training these guys and coaching these guys better how to not look so obvious of it being a pick, design the play better or something, but it's totally unacceptable.
It is, but let's talk about positives. Let's talk about responding to criticism. Darius Slay. Darius Slay had a very rough week in the press and was quite angry about it, and deservedly so because he has played very well this season and finally got the big stat that everybody cares about.
Interceptions.
2 of them. 2 interceptions. Steven Nelson, again, has been basically a non-factor, got a stat that people care about. Interceptions. Is this the turning point for this secondary, or was it just a response to a mediocre quarterback and a not great receiving core?
I think it was a little bit of a response all around defensively. Look, they held the Carolina Panthers to 18 points. They were getting more pressured on Darnold. They forced a couple of big takeaways in this game. Steven Nelson an interception as well, block punt. Fletcher Cox even making a statement with his first.
Yes, indeed.
So I feel it goes hand in hand. If you have a decent pass rush, it's going to make your secondary that much better. And these 2 weeks, we have not got pressure on the quarterback to really help this secondary. They're being left on an island, especially in Gannon's cover 2 defense, where they're throwing 2 high safety and man-to-man coverage. These guys can only hold these covers for so long that, look, they're going to give up some plays. These speedy receivers for so long. So overall, the defense has to play better as a whole, and then everyone will play better as a result.
Right. We continue to see the absolute domination of Javon Hargrave, right? Javon Hargrave has been having an exceptional season, a Pro Bowl caliber season. And, you look at somebody like Fletcher Cox, who gets a lot of grief for him not filling up the stat sheet. But on the one play where Javon Hargrave went and blitzing in and hit the quarterback, it took 3 guys to slow down Fletcher Cox. So I'm not ready to put Fletcher Cox out to pasture yet.
No, not yet. Look, it was one game. It's something to build upon. But, yeah, you can't give this guy a complete pass just yet for one game against an inferior offensive line. So right. I'm just saying it could be one of those confidence boosters, something they can build momentum on, especially going against Tom Brady because, yeah, they're the defending Super Bowl champs and they're an offense that's a point, but they are beatable.
Yes, it is a party at my in-laws' house. We are celebrating a big Eagles victory here. We're celebrating birthdays. We're doing all kinds of things here on the 85-inch TV screen. So we have a lot of big things happening.
See, they have an 85-inch. Why don't we have an 85-inch?
We don't have an 85-inch. The in-laws have an 85-inch.
Yeah.
We have a big TV. It's not 85 inches, though.
That's what she said.
Wow. Ryan Kerrigan finally is going to get a statistic, right? He made a tackle. He made a tackle. He made a tackle. It was very exhilarating. Everybody cheered. Lots of fans all around. No, I think, yes. Wow, but the wives just chimed in with the same comment with that's what she said, except one's in writing and one came verbally.
That's what she said.
Oh, God, this is why we can't do nice things. No, I think as we get ready to talk, and hear from Nick Sirianni, there's a lot of positives, especially with the defense, especially with the special teams. The offense needs work. The offense needs consistency. The offense needs better play calling. But Jalen Hurts led this team as a leader does. Does he need to work on his throwing? Yes. His accuracy? Yes. His whole body when he throws? Yes. But leadership is not something that I can question with Jalen Hurts at all. He led this team to a victory.
Yeah, look, they could have fooled. We've seen numerous times where the offense has been put in a good position to get some points. And you saw in the past that a lot of times the offense would usually flounder down in the red zone, which in the fourth quarter they didn't. They got great field position. They were able to take advantage of that situation. So kudos to Jalen Hurts. Kudos to Nick Sirianni in that situation. But we can't get this lucky every single week, especially against better competition. So, yes, that's be excited for the win as a team and as a fan base, but there's a lot of work to be done, especially with the Buccaneers this week, the Raiders the following week, and yeah, we've faced the Lions, but it's still on the road. I really, honestly, the rest of these games, I don't think we're going to be favored in too many of them. If we are, it might be against the Giants, but there's no guaranteed victory on the rest of our schedule. We're not in that type of position as a team to be guaranteeing any type of wins against inferior opponents.
There's no guaranteed victory in the NFL, period.
Absolutely.
We saw that with the fact that the Jets actually have a win, that the Houston Texans almost got a win. There is no guaranteed win in the NFL, period. To say that, there's also no guaranteed loss. Looking at the Eagles' schedule, we had chalked up the Chiefs as a guaranteed loss. We had chalked up the Bucs as a guaranteed loss. They still haven't done anything to prove otherwise, but it shows that more of these games are winnable. I think this Eagles team, again, they do have a lot of work to do, but it's not work that is impossible to do. They got to clean up the penalties. They got to clean up the blocking schemes. They got to clean up the injuries. But this Eagles team, I'm not scheduling any hotels down in Philly for a Broad Street January parade right now, or February, whenever the Super Bowl is held nowadays. But maybe it is a 4, 5, 6 win team. Maybe it is a 7-win team if they play better than they had played the previous couple of weeks. Biggest takeaway that you had from this game, whether it's a positive or a negative, while we wait for Coach Sirianni to take the podium? What's the biggest thing that you saw right away?
Biggest takeaway is, look, Devontae Smith is the real deal. Another, yes, not 100-plus game, but still a quality game all around. 7 catches, 77 yards, targeted 8 times. So he was very much the focal point in the offense once again for Jalen Hurts. But look, if we can find ways to utilize his speed, develop him properly, develop Jalen Hurts to get a quarterback in here, I kind of finally feel we have our qualified number 1 wide receiver in the National Football League. And Quez Watkins, those two, that tandem right there is going to be wonderful to watch the next couple of years.
Quez Watkins was very impressive. And by the way, talking about Jalen Hurts, had that ball been thrown in stride, Quez Watkins walks into the end zone. But another underthrown deep ball, which is going to be the concern. Xavier, I agree totally that Miles Sanders did not play smart at the end. We talked
going
about
out of bounds twice,
not even once, but twice. But again, you have to look at it. You have spent an entire game calling runs directly into the center of the line. And when you actually need to keep the clock rolling, you start running off tackle at that point. It's not smart play calling. It shows a complete mismatch and understanding of the NFL game by Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, even Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts as the leader and as the quarterback in that huddle, he needs to tell anyone, if you catch it inbounds or running inbounds, stay inbounds. Do not go running out, stop the clock, knowing that it was only a 3-point game at that point. Oh, goodness. Giants missed the field goal.
Yeah, we're watching the same game. So, again, who knows? Maybe we want the Giants to win, though, so we're all closer in the NFC East, which is the only way the Eagles have to make the playoffs, remember?
Shut your damn mouth.
Make sure Johnny takes that clip specifically.
Yeah.
Look, again, it wasn't pretty, but the Eagles do manage to do what all of us predicted during the pregame, which was beat the Carolina Panthers. We all did. We all picked the Carolina Panthers to win that game. The Philadelphia Eagles to win that game over the Carolina Panthers because they're just not as good of a football team.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest takeaway is actually one of my biggest takeaways is kind of the opposite of your. While Devontae Smith is very good at getting open, I worry about, and I've worried about this since we drafted him, I worry about the size because he doesn't seem to have the ability to hold onto the ball and create a lot of separation based on his size. His speed, yes.
Yeah.
But he fumbled a ball that he should never have fumbled. I'm not gonna let him offer that. My bigger concern is tight end play. It seems that we have regressed with both of our tight ends.
That I don't feel like we're getting them much involved. Goddard only had 3 targets for 2 receptions, 28 yards. Ertz was actually targeted 6 times, 1 reception.
Bad drops.
Yeah.
Bad drops.
So, yeah, look, as a veteran and as a guy that's been in this league for so long, Zach Ertz, yeah, you expect a lot better play from him, especially since you somewhat decided to bring him back this year instead of now accepting a late round pick for him. You kind of thought he could come in here being that leader and in the locker room and being a guy that can help contribute for your offense. And at least this week, you did not see that.
Absolutely. So somebody else is walking to the podium now. It is Nick Sirianni. We're going to go live from Nick Sirianni's press conference, and here we go.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Yeah, it was emotional in there, just getting that win and coming in there and being able to celebrate, because really what that felt like was a complete team win, and that's what it was.
Wrong.
One unit down, the other units have to bring it up. And
okay, I can see that point.
Defense felt like it was up the whole game, right? They really did. They played an unbelievable game. Special teams was down a little bit early, but then they come back and make a play.
On the side post punt.
Was down, and then they gutted it out in the second half on some really meaningful plays. So it was really, again, it was just the definition of a team win. It was definition of what we talk about, dog mentality, because the offense, it wasn't going good, right, for the offense. For a long time of that game, it wasn't going good.
At least he's honest about it.
But when they needed to make plays at the end and it was still tight, they made the plays that we needed to make there. So I'm really happy for the guys. Every guy in there should be really happy for themselves. Again, it's just a great team.
Are they out there?
They really need to turn up the
You know,
freaking
it was just
quarter
what the
mic.
defense
Say
was
again?
doing them right there. It was
They
just trying to
turn
get
up
us
the
into the
quarter mics.
flow of the game. We weren't in a flow in the
Yeah.
first half, and we were doing some things where some called runs. So we went to a little bit of
Right to the run
quarterback
game.
read
Right to the run game.
and got some good plays off of it. And so good job by him. It really felt like we were in a rut all the way until that one where he pulled it, right, where he had the one where he pulled it around the edge and went up the left side. Well, we had the quite a big play before that, but that really helped us get going and be able to move the football. Yeah, obviously, I have to go back and look at everything about what we were doing. I could tell you what they were doing. They had a good game plan for us, and they do a good job of scheming the team that they're playing. You know, some different unscouted looks that they gave us and that we had to adjust to. And
He's always
really
giving
happy
credit
with
to
our
other
offensive
teams. That's
staff,
going to be something that bugs me moving
especially
forward.
the run game guys with Stout and Jason Michael that kind of was feeding me a couple really good runs that we needed to get going a little bit in the run game. And then obviously too with what we did in the 4 minute was really good, minus the stepping out of bounds. But the running of the football and that
Calls
4
Miles
minutes
Sanders
when
out
you
right
had
away.
to run the football was really good and well executed.
Legal formation. False start. Pending that they got the play go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was incredible. The guy came free off the right side again. I got to see why it came free and what happened. But the guy came free on the right side, and he just scrambled and made a big play. Found Devontae in the end zone.
The
Guys had
2-point
good
conversion.
spacing as an offense in the end zone, and Jalen just extended the play. And I mean, because that guy came as clean as you possibly could come. Again, I got to see.
That's what she
happened.
said.
It happened fast. And I didn't see exactly what happened down the field, but to have a guy come that clean and be able to
That's what she said.
and then get it and then make the 2-point conversion, that's huge. Because when you're up, I always think this is an offense. When you're down 3 as an offense, you know, it feels different when you're down 1. Like hey, let's go get a field goal and win this game. It does. It feels different. I thought that's a huge play. Not in just the sense that you go up 3, but in sense of what it feels like as an offensive coach in that scenario and an offensive player in that scenario. So really good play by him. Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a loss, you know, there's going to be hard conversations. Shoot, when you win, like there's going to be hard conversations in the offensive room, right? When we watch this game, now we got to move on pretty quick.
Yeah.
But when we're going on that plane ride home, there's going to be hard conversations there. So the hard conversations is just being truthful with each other and holding each other accountable. No more than that. And the hard conversations doesn't mean, you know, I know I'm fiery and I'm up in your face and this and that here and there, but that doesn't mean that's what it's like in there. It can mean that sometimes, but sometimes it's just the way, it's just being honest with each other and telling the truth. But
Sure.
great job of just the dog mentality of our defensive players and our defensive staff. I mean,
I'm fine with them giving
they
credit
played
to
a
the defense.
game.
That's great.
We have 3 turnovers. Is that what it was?
3 turnovers.
3 turnovers. How many sacks did we have?
He can hear me.
3. That's it.
He's focused on the offense. He's focused,
third down.
which I'm fine with.
I
That
mean,
means Gannon's
and
job is
just
to go
what
elsewhere.
They just came together and played a great game, and it is, and that's what this league's about. Like, you're not going to play your best game every week. It's about putting together, starting again and starting again and starting again and starting again. That's dog mentality. And that's going to be the same message this week to the defense and the defensive coaches. Hey, you guys played incredible. You won this game.
Incredible.
For us. We start again, and we start again, and we start again, and we start again. Yeah. I thought like my job at that point was, we all knew it wasn't going great. It was like, okay, it's not going great. Why isn't it going great? And let's get solutions instead of
Right, you make an adjustment.
You know, I've said this before about my college coach, Larry Karras. He was the type of guy that was in your face all week. And then when the game came, he kept his composure the entire time and made the adjustments he needed to make to go and be able to do our job. And that's what I felt like my job was as a leader. Hey, I get it. And same thing with when Miles stepped out of bounds there. Like, he's like, there's an argument going on aside. Squash it. Next play. Next play. Next play. Next play. Because and just find the solutions of it instead of me. So there was, well, I don't want to say it was hard conversations. It's like, what can we do to get going? That's what it was more like, and that's all we're about.
I respect that.
Able to do that in the midst of the game. Sure. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at your call sheet. You're calling plays that you thought would be good, and you know some of the quick stuff, some of the screens. Again, that's a tribute to them and how they played us a little bit. I got so much respect for Coach Snow. They're really good. They had a good game plan for us, so we just had to switch it up a little bit. You know, because we still threw quick in the second half. We hit Devontae on a slant, two slants, so there were still some calls being called and. That we wanted to get to, but some of that screen game they took us out of.
Yeah, they did.
Right, he's not saying really anything too illuminating right now.
Is a big play. Like when the defense is keeping it close like that.
I think that's what the big takeaway is that the defense kept them in the game for the offense to struggle the entire way.
On this team, explosive playmakers on this
team. Which we kind of expected.
Again, so it was just
Carolina's a good defense. I knew with the different blitz back they'd bring.
You know, we were breathing new life into the offense, right? And it's like, all right, let's go. And then you get a pass interference, and then we get in on the goal line, and we sneak it in, and we get points there and make it a new game. And just it felt different after that. So, so that was a big play in the game, and great job by Jalen finding it. Great job. I thought Jalen overthrew him, and it was just unbelievable to see Quez put the burners on and go and track that ball. So great
overthrew. He underthrew him. Turned the burners on. He slammed on the brakes. I can't wait for him to watch that back.
Yeah.
Because that was a completely wrong assessment of that entire play.
Yeah, execution was unbelievable. I've seen them working on that this week during practice, during walkthroughs. So well schemed up by Coach Clay, Coach Panunzio, and Coach Brown. They did a great job of scheming that play up. And then the players did a great job of executing it. And so it just was, again, that's why you practice and that's why you walk through and that's why you do all those things, because everything that comes up in those things comes up in the game. So great execution. Again, that again, just what the defense did, what the special teams did, it was just a total team win. Gosh, I just saw the fight all game, and again the dog mentality of it's not
dog mentality. How much you want to bet Johnny's already got a shirt made?
Going well, just keep going. And
it's no costume mentality.
And this their next play mentality the entire game. And that's what it's got to be, because it's sometimes you win ugly. And that's just the way it is in this league. We all know that. We've all seen enough games. Sometimes you win ugly, and it's just a matter of keep fighting, keep going. And it was emotional. It was a great win to get. Games are tight like that, and you win. That feels great. It's a good emotion to have. We look forward to being able to repeat that feeling that we had in the locker room. It's a short week against a good opponent. We know we'll have a chance.
All right, so final takeaways again. The Eagles sneak out a victory. He said nothing really of anything exciting. John saying quarterback option left, no room to work with Dude, gets no touches, and people expect him to give up on the play. You can see how frustrated he was after the play. Dude just wants to run on. I don't blame him for trying to make something out of nothing. Yeah, I agree totally. John. But again, the big takeaway is the Philadelphia Eagles do manage to win
2-3,
What's that?
2-3, baby.
We're 2-3, so you're saying there's a chance. But it is a short week. Tomorrow night, we'll break it down in more detail on Chips and Dish. Wednesday night, we'll have our Eagles preview show with a Tampa Bay Buccaneers writer. And then Thursday night, we're going up against the champs. Jeff Warner, any final thoughts before we sign off on this Eagles postgame live?
Nope, let's just savor this victory, get back to work, and focus on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers starting tomorrow. And enjoy the rest of a good day of football, and hopefully the Giants beat these crappy Cowboys.
Indeed. As we end every show here on the All About the Birds post-game live on the AAT Sports Network, a very positive and happy Go Birds.